All right. Hello, everyone. Lovely Wednesday afternoon to all of you. Uh, Welcome back for another fun class here with Michaels. I'm super excited, but I would like to let everybody know in advance. I am broadcasting live from Philippines, and right now we're staying in a farm. And so you might hear a lot of roosters and some tiny baby goats saying hello to everybody. But I just want to put that out there. And also would like to thank everyone for being here, of course. I'd like to say hi to Lakita, so I can see the chat here. Hello, Kelly from California. Hi, Emma. Hi, Lana. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Tina. Hi, Celeste. Hello, everybody. Greetings from the Philippines. You know, in the Philippines, we say mabuhay, everybody. So hello and welcome. It is another class here with Michaels and Faber-Castell. And also, I would like to greet everybody. Happy International Women's Day. I really created this class to celebrate and honor us women, for today, because that's what we're celebrating, or at least I would like to celebrate it with you guys. So we're going to play with some Faber-Castell products. I have the Albrecht Durer watercolor markers. I also have the Faber-Castell PITT artist pen. And then I'm going to use a graphite pencil. I'm using an 8B just because sometimes the camera is having a hard time picking up the sketch. So I'm using a darker pencil. And then I also have a water brush with some water inside. This is from Faber-Castell, but if you have any watercolor brushes in there, that would work fine. I also have a clean bowl of water in here and my favorite kneadable eraser because I always need it. I am such a bad sketcher. I kind of like very messy, so I like to clean it up. All right, and then since we're working with some watercolor and some water, it is very important to have a paper and use a paper that can hold moisture. This one is a watercolor pad from Michaels Artist Loft. And this is the artist level number 2. All right. And if you have the handout printed, you can use a graphite sheet to transfer that in your watercolor paper. But if you didn't, it's okay because we're going to do a step-by-step. So are you guys ready? I'm super excited. I'm kind of scared also that everybody will make noises in here. Let me pull out the chat section as well. So if you have any questions, I can see that. All right, so if you don't have watercolor pens or markers, the technique is going to be different than what I'm going to teach. But if you'd like to follow along and use another marker, another type of marker, or a watercolor, that's also fine. That's okay. All right. But I won't be able to help you out if you have any questions if you're using another type of supplies. All right, everything is falling in front of me. So let me just situate myself in here. All right. So hi, Suzanne. Hello. Emma. Hi, Mary. Hi, Madeline. Hi, Jackie. All right. So Barbara, if you want the picture for the painting, I believe that Jimena can help us with that one, with the handout. I don't have the link in front of me. But if you want to follow along, it's going to be really easy because we're going to do a step-by-step. All right, here we go. Everybody ready? So I always like to start with, hold on, with the basic shapes. Basically, we're going to create a silhouette of a lady's head, right? And so I want to start with my face, and we're going to start with just a circle. I want to make this larger just because we're going to put a lettering inside. I probably could make this slightly larger. right? And then for the neck, we can just start with this and then we can adjust it as we go along. It doesn't want to leave. All right, I'm just going to stand up so I can see the screen. Here we go. Is that better? I know I could hear the feedback also. All right, here we go. We're going to create a side profile right now. So basically we have a circle here, and then we have like almost a triangle with a very wider top. Okay. And then I'm going to add a circle for the bun, hair bun. Hair bun is life. This is my everyday, like that. And right now it just looks like a bunch of shape, but as always, I like to remind you guys that when you're looking at a bigger picture, try not to look at it as that drawing or that illustration or that image in your head. Start with a basic sketch and start with the basic shapes, because once you see everything as a shape, everything's going to be much, much easier. All right, so now that I have it, I'm going to erase part of my right side since we're working with a side profile. On a side profile, we're going to start with the hair, right? And then we're going to go cave in just a little bit, depending on how you want with the nose. And always do like small sketches, very little sketches. So when you make your changes, try not to make super big changes, even when you're erasing something and you're like, okay, I'm going to cave in. Imagine it as a portrait, like a side view profile. I'm going to start with the nose. So it's just lines. And it doesn't have to be perfect because it is a silhouette. Right? And we can always adjust. For example, your head is not big enough for the whole face. We can always adjust that. And that is why it's very important to start with a basic sketch. Because look at this, I knew it already, and I'm going to add. So I'm going to adjust it, erase part of this. I'm going to start adding the chin. See how much I adjusted in here? Like that. Like that. And then I pull this down for the neck. Just like that, a bit more narrow. All right, then I think I can readjust everything once you're happy with your basic sketch. Remember, we just need a frame. It's not going to be super specific, all right? Because the silhouette is just a frame for our lettering. The lettering is going to be the focal point of this artwork. The girl silhouette, the lady, the woman is just our frame for our lettering. So I'm gonna go create a much cleaner sketch for the hair, and then I'm going to erase some of the mess that I have. All right, can everybody follow? If you have any questions, leave them in the chat section, all right? So I'm just gonna clean up my sketch in here. The reason why I'm having a hard time erasing some of the sketches, because again, I'm using an 8B, which is a very black graphite. But then if I use the regular HB pencil, sometimes the camera is having a hard time picking that up, right? Thank you so much, Emma. All right, okay, here we go. So I'm just cleaning up as much as I can. Now you can leave the silhouette like this as a sketch, or if you want to use your PITT artist pen later on, we can do that also. Right now, I'm gonna go bring this down for the shoulder. But that's our portrait, basically. All right, the first part is done. Are you guys ready to start doing your lettering now? Now I'm going to lighten this sketch again by using my kneadable eraser. This is my favorite thing in the world. This is my best friend because I don't have any eraser dusts. And also the way I erase anything, if I want to lighten any sketch, I will just roll it like this. And it'll pick up the graphite and it'll give me this perfect silhouette right now. All right, here we go. We're having a lot of commotions here at home. We have a bus, we have some goats, we actually have a pony in this farm. The roosters are saying hello. Here we go, perfect. Now, when we start with the lettering, we're going to be using the Albrecht Durer to add some colors into here. The Albrecht Durer watercolor markers comes with a dual tip, has a brush tip on the other end. Here we go. And then we have a bullet tip. Now, what we're going to do is brush lettering. So we're going to use the brush end on this one. But like myself, sometimes I'm still struggling to use a brush pen. And I think we all kind of agree with that one. So we can pick up, because these are watercolor markers. These are concentrated pigments. And the way it works is that you can use it straight on. I mean, do your lettering or use a brush. And these are going to work like watercolor markers. And so I have here I'm trying to shade it. Oh my goodness. So I'm just going to apply some of that marker over here on the side. This is a silicone pad. If you have an artist palette that works, or any smooth surface, like for example, a plastic, that would work also. But the reason why I love the silicone pad is that I'm able to do it like this way. And then I can use it as a watercolor. These markers are so versatile, right? But right now we have to work on our sketch for the quote that we're going to use today. So I like the quote, "Empowered women empower women," because through the years of being in my younger years, I was in show business, for the lack of a better word. And so, sometimes there's a lot of competition going on, but the older I get, I realize that we need to build a tribe because we can't rely on one another. There's a big world for everybody. Everyone has a space in it, so we always have to be an example. We have to be the better person. And I think if as women we can do that, I think we'll make the world a much, much better place. All right. Emma said, this place sounds amazing. It actually sounds very amazing. If you guys are following me on social media, I'm sure that you've seen some of the posts that I shared in there. All right. Okay. So empowered women empower women. When you're working in a tight space like this, for example, this is the silhouette, this is her frame. So it is really important to use a pencil first, because you can always readjust things if something is not perfect. And when I'm working in a composition in my lettering, I choose words that I want to highlight and that's going to be the focal point. And that's where I want my audience eyes to focus on. So I want the word empowered and then the women. Since the two words are very close, empowered women empower women, how can we make this look different? And so the way I play with my letters, remember when you're doing hand lettering, this is the art of drawing your letters. That means you can't do anything. Art is subjective, this is where your creativity would come in. I want you to really experiment. For example, if you're having a hard time with script, then you can do a print. You don't have to do the brush lettering that I'm going to do today. I want you to make this your own. How I'm going to do this, since this is sideways, we have kind of like leaning to the left, and we have this main frame over here. So I'm going to keep the empowered on the top left of the bun. This final result might look very different from the one that we created in the handout. But if you have the handout already, then you can follow that along as well, if you'd like. But we can play. I like to play. As some of you know that I love to really play around and experiment with you guys, getting your ideas, what you think looks so much better. I like to ask you guys what colors, how to blend, and things like that, because this is the reason why we're doing live classes like this, because it's more fun. We have engagement, right? Okay, so I'm going to start with my sketch. I'm going to start empowered. And already I can tell I started really big. So this is just the letter M. Like this. So I'm going to do a print. Look at that. I cannot fit it. This is why pencil is really beautiful. So empowered. And then I'll have the word women. In brush lettering, there are two basic strokes that you have to master. It is the thick stroke and the thin stroke. The thick stroke is the downstroke, or every time you're going to write towards you, that is going to be your thick stroke. And that is when you're going to apply a heavier pressure when you're writing. And your thin stroke is an upstroke. Every time you would write away from your body. So every time you go upstroke, this is where you're going to apply less pressure to create that thin stroke. And it's also all about the placement of your pen, how you hold your pen. All of these are very important. If you'd like to learn more about brush lettering, you can check out some of our past classes here at Michael's. You can check the replay on Michael's YouTube channel. We have very wide variety of classes that tackles the brush lettering. All right, so I have empowered women. We can add the comma in there. Now, empower women. So we have two more words, but look how big this is. So we want to make sure that we can fill this whole space. So I have letter E. We can try like this way, like that. And then we can make our last word women, just a script. And the reason why I like going step by step like this, because I think it's really important for you to see the decision making, because sometimes when you just follow along the handout, it's easy. I don't think you're learning anything from that. I think you're just copying. But when you see the decision making that I'm doing, I think it's really important, because also you yourself can say, oh yeah, I never thought about that. Or maybe you've thought something better than what I'm doing right now. Please feel free to do that, So it's always encouraged. Experimenting and creativity is always encouraged in this space. Right. So we have empowered women, empower women. What can we add in here that can fill in this space? Right. So later we're going to deal with some colors in here. We can add some florals, is what we're going to do. We're going to fill in some flowers inside. We're going to watercolor some florals, some roses, and that's why I have orange glaze 113, middle purple pink 125, and May green 170. Right now we have the sketch, and I'm going to lighten it up. All right. And I'm going to use the black 199 brush Faber-Castell PITT Artist pen. This is what we're going to do. This is a brush tip. And I'm going to start with on top, because I don't like to smear anything. So if I start in here, women, empower. Then as I go up, I'm going to smear the first word. But if I start on top and I work my way down, that's going to help me to not have any smearing at all. All right, so I'm going to start with the word empowered. Again, with the thought in mind, downstroke, apply heavier pressure. Upstroke is where you're going to apply less pressure. All right. E. Now using the tip of the marker and applying light pressure, I can get those thin strokes. See? And notice how I'm not writing straight up like this. When I'm doing any type of hand lettering, it's not straight up. I always go sideways like this, around a 45-degree angle from the paper. So not like this. If I am doing any type of writing at all, so it's going to be here. I'm going to hold my pen like this. But any type of hand lettering, I hold my marker. My hand is secure and stable. You have to practice with this, the proper holding of your pencil or your markers. Just like that. Applying pressure to create that thicker stroke. That. Then letter O is a really good letter to practice for your thin and thick, because notice the letter O, you have a thick and then you stop in the middle and then you go really light to complete the stroke, right? So letter O is a really good one. W is a really good one as well, because thick, thin, thick, thin. So I'm going to go move along just a little faster because sometimes an hour is not enough. And that is why also sketching is really good, because it helps you with your basic composition already. You don't have to think about that. Now I'm telling you, and I'm kidding you not, if I didn't sketch first my words, I probably 90% chance that I would have made it much larger, my letters. I have the tendency to do that. And so if I didn't sketch, I know I would have messed it up. 90% certain I would have messed it up. So that's why sketching is really important, right? So empowered women, like that. Thin, thick. Letter M is a really good one also. See that? Like thick, ease on the pressure, thick, ease on the pressure, apply pressure going down. So since I'm using a black marker in here, I think I'm going to line in my silhouette also later. All right. So for my letter E, slowly, like that. Going up, ease up on your pressure, apply again. If you have to pause in each stroke, and this is where understanding that hand lettering is drawing your letters, and it's not a calligraphy. Calligraphy was created so that to make your writing faster. That is when you're not lifting your pen from the paper. But when you're drawing your letters, think of it as per stroke. One stroke for this one, another stroke for the thin, another stroke for that. So don't be afraid to lift your pen from the paper. And I think that's one common mistake that I see a lot, is that they're trying to do their brush lettering as they would write something. It is not. You're trying to draw your letters and not write your letters. Those are two different things. It's important to remember that, right? We have here, and I'm lifting. See, I lifted again, and I'm not trying to do this like that, because that is where you're going to struggle with the thin and thick line. So, but if you do it slow, one step at a time, one stroke at a time, Sorry, I messed this up because I was trying to show you. And then one stroke at a time, it's going to be much, much easier. Lift one stroke, going down another stroke, and finish up strong in this one, right? And so if you feel like you didn't make it thicker enough, you can always come back in. You know, we're not aiming for perfection. When you're doing art, sometimes as adults, we overwhelm ourselves and we lose that we're doing this for what reason? We're trying to have fun. So just be gentle and be kind to yourself. Here we go. That's one stroke. Down, going up. Right? Oh, again, this is good. Look at this. Ease up on my pressure and start shifting. And now I'm going to use the tip of my marker and go really light. Like that. So after a while, the more you do this, you're going to build your muscle memory. And next time, you're not going to have to keep reminding yourself, down, heavy, light, up, down, heavy, light, up. Because in the beginning, I was doing that. I'm not kidding. I was kind of go, okay, heavy, all right, light. Every time you do any horizontal or crossbar, you're going to apply light pressure also. So this one is a horizontal. This one is going down, so it's heavy, light, down, heavy, light, down, heavy, right? Does that make sense? All right, so we go up, another stroke, and then another one. All right, so now that we have that lettering here, like what I said, since we have the black and it's going to be, it looks so gonna be odd if we don't line out the sketch of her silhouette. So that's what I'm gonna do, and do it slow and steady. So even if you have to pause in between, like that. And I personally love wiggly, jaggedy lines. I think it adds character to my art, but then it is personal preference. So you don't have to do that. If you want a more cleaner look, then you can do that, right? And so going down, like that. And don't worry about that space in the middle. Remember, we're going to add embellishments here. And that's where all those colorful markers are going to come in. We're going to create some beautiful florals as our embellishment to fill in the space in our silhouette. So even when I'm drawing, notice that I have the thin and thick lines going down thick, horizontal line, thinner by using the tip of the marker. All right, if you feel like you have a lot of sketches going on and it's not clean enough, you can always come back in and use your eraser to clean out all the mess that you created. Like that, but just be careful because the marker might still be wet. So you might end up with a lot of smear. So just be mindful of that. All right. It doesn't have to be perfect. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like that. And this is where, kneadable eraser. I love you. You're my best friend. So I don't have to clean up my space. I don't have any eraser dusts, all that. Right now, this is where the magic happens. Remember, we applied the marker on the side. Again, the Albrecht Durer watercolor markers, watercolor. So straight on watercolor, you can use it as a marker or you can use them as a watercolor as well. So for us to be able to activate these pigments, these are, this one is from Faber-Castell. It's called a kneadable eraser. Right? They have that in Michael's. All right, so get your markers, your brush pens ready, a clean bowl of water. We're gonna start with, this is where the magic, just like that. Activating those pigments, never gets old, it's beautiful. Now to create florals, it's going to be loose florals. So I want you to think about mark making. Think of this as just mark making. Don't think flowers, but basically that's the shape that we want to create. but it doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be intricate or detailed. We're trying to mimic the look of a floral, of the petals, and that's what we're going to create. Let's start with filling in this big space right here, because it can be a little bit overwhelming when you have like many white space going on. And so we're going to fill that in. I start here in the middle, and we start with the letter C, but just the letter C. And we'll go the opposite, and we're going to do another letter C with the opposite way, mirrored in that. Okay. And we'll just keep adding. Remember, the more petals you add, that is going to be the size of your flower. So be mindful of that, how big you want your florals to be, and use the same principle of the thin and thick stroke. So when you're using of the marker, apply a bit of a pressure to create a much thicker stroke, and then lift and use the tip up with a tapered end that side. Now here, I'm going to add one again, using the tip of the mark of the pen or the brush, applying pressure, lifting it up, and then using the tip as I go, right? I'm just going to keep adding it. Sometimes the more imperfect it is, the more I like it. So just going to add that on this side and on this side. All right, now I'm going to clean the brush. I'm going to use the orange glaze this time. Filling in this one. Let's try in the middle, just like that, with the letter C again. Come back with another letter C. And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. And on the other side, and on this one. So kind of just like that. Do you guys hear the roosters? They're saying hello. They're saying hello and mabuhay from the Philippines. All right, so I'm gonna, sometimes I'll just add like thinner strokes like this, just like that. Now I'm gonna leave some space because I'm gonna add some leaves. So, all right, clean my brush again. And then activating the pigments of the green. Green one is the A green 170. And the pink is the middle purple pink 125. Okay. And so I'm going to try and fill in some areas for the leaves. And again, I am not aiming for perfection. I just want imperfectly perfect. Just like that. And filling some areas, maybe here too. Like that. I'm going to leave some of those areas and let them dry. I'm going to add some pinks in there later, maybe smaller florals. All right. And I'll start on the top. Be careful. If you have to move your canvas or your paper, please feel free to do that. Just like that. I know sometimes it's hard to visualize it. Really, I think you get used to it. Instead of you trying to really hurt yourself while move your arms around, move your canvas because you can move it. Unless you're working in, of course, much tighter space and you cannot. If you can, then please do so. Right now, I'm just filling in areas. So I'm just doing any mark makings right like that. Like that. Over here too, mark making. Let brush work for you, not the other way around. I dipped in the orange glaze to kind of blend the two colors together. And they look lovely. And then I'll use the orange here. Okay. Just a little bit here as well, like that. And if you need more, then you reapply. That. I feel like, you know, I think question if I like using the markers as markers itself or as a watercolor. Honestly, I can't pick because it's very different. It's just depending on my mood and also depending on the type of artwork that I want to create. So just like clean up my brush. All of the orange and pink color theory, they look good together. So even if you have the colors blend in together, it's still going to look lovely because they're going to this deeper value of orange. That. In here, maybe half flower, only half here. Notice how it's just, I'm trying not, this one is super perfect because it's a larger area and I really want that to be the focal point. Of course, our lettering is the focal point, but the two flowers in here, just because they are larger, I want them to be more detailed instead of just a lot of marks like the rest of the flowers, right? I'll use the orange and add a little bit here. Use your thin and thick, use your tip of the marker to create a thin line, and then apply a bit of pressure, press on the brush to create a larger or thicker stroke. Again, remember watercolors, they look very vibrant when they're wet, but you give it some time to dry, the colors are going to be less saturated. That's why I really like to leave them be for now. And if you want more colors, you want more vibrancy in there, you can come back in later once it's dry. Remember, if they're still wet and you try to apply more pigment in there, what's going to happen is this is just to blend in with the first layer that you created. But if you want to add details and more saturated colors, and you let that area dry first, then apply your second layer to add more detail, right? Again, water going to blend in. If it's dry, it's going to create a detailed stroke. I'm going to here. I think I'm going to fill in this area also, in between the letters, in between the words. If you're using a watercolor, that's perfect too. So principle, thin and thick to create your beautiful floral notes. Like that. Just like that. Isn't it lovely? So beautiful. Here. Watercolors taught me, it taught me patience. It really did, because you have to wait in between layers. Then I realized that I have a heat tool, I have a heat gun, so I use my heat gun in between. I know it's cheating. I'm gonna see if I can see. Right, add more here. I think the key here is to spread out your colors, but I'm pretty sure that it's okay to have pink and, together also if that's what you'd like. But if you notice here, I'm doing it kind of like spreading them out because we only have two colors in here. Aside from the green, we have the orange and pink. You can also blend the two colors together and create your own. That's beautiful about watercolors. That once you understand your color theory, you can blend and create your own palette also. And this is what we talked about, spreading them out, because we have two orange now touching each other. That's okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But if the choice, of course. I'm gonna add one more here. And we have leaves. So I want to leave some space for the leaves. I want to leave some space for the leaves. Right. Add a bit more here. That. Some tiny one in here. Jimena, I missed any of the questions. I'm having a hard time using just the phone, so I can't reach out. So yes, I'm in the Philippines, Lorena. So my niece is getting married, and that's why our family is almost complete. I don't have my kids because my kids have school, so I didn't travel with them. All right, it's a bit more. We have some orange here. If you want to add more saturation and more vibrancy, then just keep adding more. And then less water, of course, the higher concentration of that pigment, right? So you have more vibrant colors. If you add more water, then less saturation, the colors are much, much lighter. I mean, I love watercolors because they are forgiving, you know, but at the same time, once you just understand the basics, it's very easy to use. Just understand the simple basics, wet on wet technique, you know, the wet on dry. But again, like what I always share with you guys, the more you play with your tools, what's going to happen? The more you play with them, the more you get to know your tools. You find more ways to use them. So now we're going to fill in those areas with some more green, but I think I could add a little bit more here probably. All right, let's do that. Just a bit more here. I'm letting the shape of my brush create these marks. See, I'm not working too hard. I'm letting the brush work for me also. But by understanding how to use the tool, I'm allowing it to create these beautiful marks that it does. That. And I think we should fill in this part right here too. Maybe add some orange in here. Again, I added too much water, so I have lighter colors. Let's add a little bit more. Just like that. Add in between, spread the colors. I think they look lovely like that. Add a bit here, then we can add a bit more pink, and then we're almost done, and we just keep adding the leaf. If you have any questions, please leave them in the chat. I think Jimena is going to help me out with the questions that you may have. And if I miss any before I say goodbye, I'm going to review the chat section also so I can answer some of your questions that I might have missed. I don't have this big monitor in front of me. I have one at home so I can see it while I'm doing this. But right now I'm using my phone, so it's slightly limited, but you know, it works. We're here, we're together, we're creating, we're happy. So it's all great. All right, I think I'm going to add a little bit more pink. So just you guys, so hot here in the Philippines. I am sweating. That. Add those marks. All right. I think we're ready to add some leaves. You ready to add some leaves? I think we are. All right. Again, the green color is May Green 170. Now, the Faber-Castell, the Albrecht watercolor marker, they are fantastic. You can see in here, you're going to see the light fast. So each color has a different light fast rating. Of course, the 3 is the very, very light fast. It's from 1 to 3. What is light fast? What does it mean? Why do we talk about this? Why does this matter? Light fast means that if I have this illustration and I want this to stay as vibrant as it is now, it is important for me to use a very high light fast material. Light fast, which means the sun, the direct sunlight will absorb these colors and it will make it very, it's going to fade after a while. But if you're using a marker or a tool or a supply that has a light fast rating, the colors will remain vibrant for many, many years to come. But of course, if you know, you don't have to worry about that if you're not displaying it, if you're not selling your art, if it's just a personal thing, then you don't have to worry about those. But Faber-Castell is high quality materials. I mean, you get what you're for. I love it. All right, time to fill in some leaves. Don't overthink this one, please. You know, it's easy to overthink little things. We've been drawing leaves since what? Very young. So try not to overthink this part and just let your brush work. You know, you're going to create a much larger one if you have a larger area, but just keep filling in areas. Green, because what now is that if you see pink and orange, it looks like flowers. Then you see the green. What is it? It's going to be. And so, bouquet, if you notice a bouquet flower, you're going to see different types of greens. Since we have only one green in here, we're just going to make them play around with the size. So you have small, you have larger, you have short, you have long, but keep filling in some of the areas. And what you're telling your audience is that, hey, this one is organic. This is nature. Nature is very organic. Nature is beautiful. Leaves are different. There's some dried ones, fresh. And I think that's something that we can learn from nature, is that we can adapt, we can change. We're all unique, beautiful. And so as we do this class today, I want to remember that the woman, we try to overwhelm ourselves with all the responsibilities. You know, we want to take care of everybody, and sometimes we forget about ourselves. So I want you to celebrate you, celebrate you, and celebrate womanhood, you know. And so I honor you today. I really thank you for being here, joining and doing this class with me. It's always a very humbling experience. I know we do this 4 times a month, but it was a great pleasure, guys, having you here, taking these classes with us here with Michaels and Faber-Castell. If you have any questions, this is the perfect time to do that before I say goodbye. And if you create anything along with me today, I'd love to see that. If you post it on social media, you can use hashtag Make with Michaels Faber-Castell. You can also follow Faber-Castell USA on Instagram, whichever platform you're in. I'm also on social media. It's at Mommy Lay. I'd love to see you guys there. Stay in touch. If you have any questions that I may have not answered today, you can always DM me and leave me a message, email me. I'll be happy to do so. Thank you again so much, you guys, for taking this class with me. Super early in the morning. Now I have a beautiful day ahead of me. For everybody else, have a great evening. Again, thank you all so much. My name is Leibella Ralston with Faber-Castell USA and Michaels Stores. I hope to see you next week for a premium class. Until then, stay creative and stay happy. God bless everybody. Thank you so much. Bye.